Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Today, let's go ahead. We'll be talking about something interesting. And probably I think this is something we do on a daily basis. We will talk about parallel development. When different teams are involved or when different people are involved in order to build an application, how would we do it? Probably they might need to work on the same rules. Now, I cannot say that one team has to wait until the other team completes or one developer has to wait until the other developer completes. It's not a good approach. But how can I handle them separately, or how can I let the developments go hand in hand without any interruptions? That's part of your parallel development. And definitely parallel development is essential because I cannot say that you have to stop until the other developer completes his work. Of course, we have check-ins, check-outs and private data. Those are agreed. But in order to avoid conflicts or in order to make sure the development is going smooth, we have to look at parallel development aspects. That's where we talk about something called as branch application today. We will talk about branches, where I think this terminology is quite familiar. When you say the master, when you say branches, the master has the entire repository of the code, whereas branches are specific to each team of development that is carried out. Let's talk about how this parallel development can be achieved on the PEGA platform. I think let me show you this image where HR is an application. Now assume team A and team B are working on enhancing the HR application. For example, HRA is working on the UI enhancements. HRB is working on some new functionality. Now both of them are important. I cannot say team A to wait until team B completes his work and vice versa. I should not say that. Now how do we achieve that? Both of the teams are working parallelly. And how do I make sure that the conflicts are very minimal? I cannot say I will entirely avoid conflicts. I will have zero conflicts. But how can I avoid or how can I make sure the conflicts are minimal? We'll be talking about that. We have a process involved. You can say, there's a step-by-step process that is involved here in order to build or work on the parallel development. Let's see. There are 5 steps involved. Step: create a team application built on main application. Let's say your HR is the main application. Now create different team level applications. How many teams you have? Those many team applications should be built. They should not be just built randomly. They have to be built on the main application your main application is. You can consider it as a framework. The main application is going to be the built-on application. Then create one or more development branches in the team application. Now you start creating branches on the team application. How many should you create? Depending upon the approach. Like you can create a separate branch for each of your developers. You can create a branch for each of the stories or each of the requirements. You can create branches on the team application good. Now grant access to the team application. Providing the necessary access is important. Like initially, developers will only have access to the main application. But now, as you have separate team applications, provide access to the team applications now. Instead of just the main, also provide access to the team application. Then I have both. Step is create or configure rules. Once you get access to the main application, what you do is start doing your development work. Create your rules, or if you would like to modify some rules, yes, you can modify it, but use the branch for it. We will get an option to choose where you would like to configure the rule. In that case, you should choose the branch this time. The last one is once your development is complete, once you make sure your requirement is satisfied. You tested it. Everything is good. Then we have to merge this into the main application. We merge the branches into the main application. Make sure conflicts, if any, should be resolved. You can see the conflicts on the wizard, and if you see any conflicts, yes, they have to be resolved. This is the typical process that we follow in order to make sure parallel processing is handled. I think let's see how do we do this. We will see each one of this in detail and parallelly we will also work on it. What does it say? The step 1. If you look at step 1 in detail, I could do this. I could just save as the base or the team the main application and I can create a team application. That's what I should do now. Let me go back. I think this particular operator has access to two applications, the HR framework and HR implementation. I think we will use one access group and we will use one application which has most implementation in it. Our services application 1.21. I only see HR's administrator. Fine, I think there's only one application for this particular user. I think we did not give him the access to the other new version that is created. Now, what would I do is the first step. Create a new application built on the main application. Yes, here is my application. Let me do. I'm going to do a quick save as and let us name it some enhancement or feature related application. This is AR services. I have some checked out rules already. I'll just discard this that no checked out rules are available. Discard all those checked out rules or if at all there's anything on the we did it. Discard all of them. It's not checked out rules. We're just making sure that nothing goes wrong. I don't have any checked out rules I'm going to create. Save as. Let us name this application as ERA services. I can let the version be 0.1. The charge. This application has to be built on. Now I'm going to save it, but instead of UIKit, this time it has to be the HR service application. Which version are we looking at? I think two versions are available. Let's go with one other. The other one because we did this lock and roll. Remember the third option. Create a new version of my application. Yes, the first step of creating a team application. The built-on application is my base application. Yes, I am good with that. Step 2 is creating a brand in the application. Step 2 says, now create your branches on the team application. And we should be a little careful while creating the branch names because the branch names are applicable across the node. On the node, whatever applications you have, whatever branches you have, everything would be available. We should make sure the branch names are as unique as possible. To the point, what is it regarding? Well, if it's relating to two story numbers, that is much better. But otherwise, also we can create the branch names. On the development branches, I clicked on Add Branch. What is the name of the branch that you would like to have? I'll name it UI feature. I'll name it UI feature as. Here I've got a branch. You can create multiple branches. Like I said, it could be for each story or could be for each developer in your team. Likewise. For now, yes, a branch is created. What is step 3 is provide access. Provide access to this themed application because it's an entirely new application now. I should let my developers access it. Let's create an access group. I would like to save as the existing HR's access group and provide access to the new application. HRS feature, this time admin feature, HRS feature. But make sure you're pointing on the application to the HRS feature and make sure the version. We only have one version. This should be good. Now the access group is created. Make sure the users, developers are pointed to the application. What should I do is I'll go back to my admin. And instead of or along with HRS, this time let's add HRS feature also. And I'm going to save it. And where did we create the branch? Is it on the team application or on the main application? It's on the team level. Now the access is provided. Now, once I get the access, I can start working on my rules, but make sure you save it onto the branch. If you are dealing with an existing rule that you have to modify, what you should do is save that rule into the branch and then work on it. Whereas if you have to create new rules, directly create it into the branch. Let's see how can we do that. But before that, let me switch to the branch application. Here I am on the branch application. Let's assume I'll create some new rules, then I'll also modify some existing rules. Let's create some new rules. I'm going to just create some properties. But why do I not see any branch rules far? I only see app. I should see a branch here. Let us check if it's. Did we even save the application definition? I don't think we saved we created a branch, but we did not save. I guess. Let's check. Seems like we did not save it. Let me just add a branch. Now I'll go ahead. Because on this themed application, I have a branch. Let's create some. Now, you see, I have a development branch here corresponding to this application. Here you get to see a list of all the available branches. Like I said, based upon a story, based upon the feature, based upon the developers, we can create multiple branches. Let me add a sample. This is part of development branch UI feature HRS. You can choose the appropriate class. We have created a property. Let's create some more rules. What do your data tell me? Here if you see, the rule set says HRS, but it's a branch rule set. Then create a data transform. Assemble. I'll set some sample. Again, this is also part of the HRS rule set. Two new rules are created. Let's manipulate some existing rules. How would I work on the existing rules? I have to update. I think there's a decision table. Let's. For example, I would like to change this to which are available on the branch rule set. And what is also work in progress. Again, even if I check in and check out also, it's still part of the branch rules at all. 3 rules were handed 2 new rules and 1 existing rule is modified. I think that's also changed some existing rule. And I have to check in it. Four rules have been handled, 2 new and 2 old. For example, my requirement is done. I made all the testing. It is all working fine. Everything looks good. Then what should I do? What's step 5? Merging the changes from a branch rules. Merging has a separate wizard. Using this wizard, I'll be able to look at the statistics like how many rules have been updated, how many have been modified by whom, and are there any conflicts. I'll be able to see all of them here. Let's check in order to do that. Let me go back to my branch. Once you click on the branch, we can look at the branch quality. Yes, here is the content on the branch. 4 rules. You can see the type a table, addition table, a DT, a property of window. The rule set, you can see the class and who updated it. And you can also see whether it's any checked out or not. Ideally, these two are checked out, but I've also checked in the rules. You have the Actions tab here where you can merge, you can package, you can delete, you can refresh. But before that, let us look at the branch quality also before merging itself. This is the branch quality. Godrail score is 100, but there are like 2 warnings. And what does it say? The test coverage, the unit tests. There are no unit tests for 3 rules. I mean your additional table condition and the DT. They did not have any unit test cases. The system is saying the test coverage is 0. There are no 3 supported rules but no unit testing. We have to make sure all the unit test cases are created. And only then it is suggested that we merge it with the main branch. And there are some warnings relating to maintainability. Uncovered rules. 3 rules were not covered with any unit test cases. And if at all there are any failed scenarios, you get to see these rules without unit tests. I think I should see all the three. Make sure we do the unit testing. Make sure it is all the test cases are successful. Only then proceed to the merging. For now, let us just proceed. Let us click on Merge. Which branch are you going to merge? Yes, UI feature itself. Let me proceed. This will open up another wizard for me. This wizard, yes, this wizard is showing me. Some conflicts. Yes, there are 2 conflicts of 0 warnings and those new rules that you create. Should they be part of an existing rule set or are you looking at creating them in a new rule set? You can choose that as well. Let's see what conflicts do I have. It says cannot be merged because a rule in a lower version has been updated more recently than when the checkout was created. If you remember, O2, O1, O1 is something that this user does not have access to. It says he cannot merge because we have updated O1, O1, O1. Yes, there is a conflict here. Let's look. For now, what I would like to do is this user does not have access to this anyways. I would like to change the privilege now HRs O201. Now let's see if this user has got access to change. I think still a conflict. Can I go back once? The check one if it's still showing the same error. Yes, because of O21. This is part of O21. I think my bad. I should have used this from O001. Let's do one thing. I delete this rule in the branch. Yes, I'll be scared if you see this is. I think salaries we got from O1, 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 but this we got from O1. Let's check the state. Something else. There's also part of 2 OM01. Now this again I think you have. Both of them are from O2, O11 only. I think I'll delete this also. Instead, this time what I'll do is I'll take it from O1, O1, O1. Yes, here is my char as O1. This I will save. As to the new rules, check it. Then in decision table. This time it is from O1, O1, O1. I'm going to save as. Ideally O2, O1, O1 should not be existent for this user because he doesn't have access to it. I'm going to check in it back. Now let's see. Where is my branch? Obviously, the content is going to be the same, but what about merge? Still conflicts. Still says. O2, O1, O1 rule in the lower version has been updated more recently when the checkout was created. Let's compare. I'm going to save as. 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 Save as. Still, would it show? Because again the O2, O1, O1 is updated. Yes, it would still show. What we'll do is we'll try to compare. Or you can just, mark it as resolved. If you observe the comparison instance 1, instance 2, initially it's part of 10101, part of 02001. Now this one is part of branch rule set. This is part of HRs. Value is changed from 1 lakh to 1 lakh to 3,000. I think those are the changes that we made. If you think this is appropriate, I think we can go ahead. We can mark it as resolved. For now, even if it's 0201 is the latest version, but still we made changes on 010101, which again is against the practice. Still considering that 020101 is not applicable for this user. Let us mark it as resolved. 2 conflicts are there, 2 are resolved. 0 warnings and no checked out rules. Now do you like to move it into a new version called some 02, 01, 02? Yes, 02, 01, 02 as in it will be listed below this. Are you looking to create it in a new version, or would you just have it in any of the existing versions? I think we'll create it in a new version. We'll see whether all 4 rules are created or not. Let's check that. Create a new version only and let us also lock it. And I would like to keep all the source rules and rule sets after merging. In case you would like to delete them, you can uncheck this, but let us have it. If you want all those rules that we created, if you don't want them on the UI feature rule set, you can disable this. But now what I have chosen is I want all the rules and the rule sets to be available even after it is merged. Ideally, what we do is we make changes in the branch, and once the execution is successful, the functionality is working fine. We just move them into the main application. Once we merge it, it's moved into the main application, making the branch empty, ideally. That every time you add new rules onto the branch, you will have a fresh count of it, that other previous ones will not be accumulated. For now, if required, we can let it be or we can just discard it, that your branch becomes clean once you finish the merge. Let's see what happens. This activity is something that is performed on a daily basis, or at least once in any couple of days. The earlier the better. You will have lesser conflicts and you will have to spend less time in order to resolve the problem. It says all rules merged successfully. Source from the branch rule set to the target HRs in the new version 1001, which is locked. 4 rules were merged. And you can see this is like a separate case type. You will get a case ID PX4. You see the status result completed. When who? Where do you get to see this? You can see the merge results also. And each rule level of a result can be checked here. Rule, name class, the new version that is available and the availability of the rule. I think we will look into the rule set whether the new rule set is available. Let us refresh this. Yes, there's O2, O1, O2 with 4 rules that were just merged from the UI feature branch. Yes, 4 rules are available. 3 minutes later. Yes, that's how we'll be able to merge rules from the development branches to your main application. And also, I think I'll show you that we did not enable the checkbox. All my source, the rules that were part of HR feature should be removed. It should be empty ideally now. Let's refresh this once. We'll check. All. You see, there's no content currently because we have removed the rules. It's just like you cut and paste. If I enable the checkbox, you will have all those 4 rules listed out here. Clearly, it is good that we clean it as a new budget. If the branch would get cleaned, it's more of a good practice to do that all those rules will be accumulated. It's not necessary that I should create it as a new rule set. I can even choose any of the existing rule sets also. But to be very clear, like how many rules have been merged and what new things were added. Instead, we created it as a separate rule set version to be very clear of whether all the rules have been merged successfully or not. This is something we probably do on a regular basis. Once the separate teamed applications are created now, I can start creating my own branches. I can keep on working on them, merge them depending upon the stories on my sprint or iteration. You can have one branch for each of the developers. And as in when you work on your stories, you finish it, you merge it. Again, your branch will be empty. You take up another story, you finish it, you merge it. Likewise, we can continue that cycle. In few projects, I have observed they don't create teamed applications, they directly create branches. That's one approach they follow. There is no built-on application directly on the base application itself. They can create branches. That's another approach typically followed in projects. But ideally, this is the good one. Separate applications that you don't use the plain one. I think that's all about teaming the application. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.